When did bureaucracy become a dirty word? Almost certainly when the idea of adhocracy emerged. The two are polar opposites, radically different ways to structure an organisation. Bureaucracy is about a fixed set of rules and processes that govern everything that you do. Adhocracy is about constantly reforming the processes and rules to meet each new contingency. But while the idea of a bureaucracy goes back to the 19th century and earlier, the idea of adhocracy is much newer, but not as new as you think. Ad hoc is a Latin tag which means for this purpose. We use it to mean something that we do for a particular task or for a particular contingency. Ad hoc means temporary. And the Greek word kratos means rule, and therefore adhocracy is literally rule for a specific purpose. The temporary structures that we form for running a new project are examples of adhocracy. But increasingly, organisations are looking for new ways to structure themselves. And sometimes they're alighting on the idea of bringing together short-term temporary structures that can do specific things and then move on, disperse and reform in a new format to meet a new need. And it's this approach that we refer to as adhocracy in the sense of an organisational type. In an adhocracy, we replace a rigid bureaucratic structure with a fluid set of relationships among small groups. Adhocracies emphasise individual initiative and small self-organising groups as a way of getting things done. The origins of the term adhocracy are with Warren Bennis, who envisaged small, flexible project teams that would form around a specific need, and he called this adhocracy. But it was Alvin Toffler who popularised the term in his massively best-selling book, Future Shock. In this, he saw future organisations as having a flat structure with no rigid organisation, but rather a number of self-directing teams. He took Bennis's idea, but didn't use the term. He referred to these as kinetic organisations, a term that was later picked up for the book Corporate Kinetics. But the idea had started to really stick in the public imagination. But it was that great analyst of the way managers work, Henry Mintzberg, who took the idea and the term adhocracy and gave it some rigour. In an earlier video, we looked at Henry Mintzberg's 4 organisational types, and one of them was adhocracy. Mintzberg understood that within large organisations, projects were needed to make progress. Project teams would come together, they would deliver the project, and then they would disband or morph into a new structure. Among competent team members, there wasn't a huge need for authoritative leadership, just a little guidance, and the coordination between those teams came from effective communication among the members. In 1990, Robert Waterman suggested that in an adhocracy, an organisation cuts across normal bureaucratic lines to capture opportunities, solve problems, and get results. In fact, Mintzberg, ever the subtle thinker, saw 2 different forms of adhocracy, which he called the operational adhocracy and the administrative adhocracy. An operational adhocracy is one where the teams come together to work on problems and to create products and services for the customers and clients of the organization. This is very much the structure of many consulting firms, but it's also the structure of other professional services firms too, and some software development enterprises. In an administrative adhocracy, the idea of adhocracy extends right to the core of the organization, and the teams that come together serve the administrative and functional needs of the organization itself. Both of these models are excellent in creating a flexible, adaptable organization that can evolve and meet the changing needs of its commercial or competitive environment. However, both are weak at developing strategy. In its purest form, the people working within an adhocracy have little feeling of a stake in the long-term organization. Their focus is on the short-term needs of the teams within which they come together. I think it remains to be seen whether organizations can truly form what we might call a permanent adhocracy, where teams come together to form the whole of a long-term sustainable organization. I do suspect that this may be possible, and it also seems to me to be possible that when that happens, what we have will be described as an agile organization. And we'll look at that in another video. Please do give us a thumbs up if you like this video. There's loads more great management courses content to come, so please do subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of it. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and in the meantime, keep learning.